Hey, it's Eric G. Around the House is sponsored by Baldwin Hardware. For 75 years, Baldwin Hardware has been known for its first-class quality and craftsmanship in door and cabinetry hardware. As an alumnus of the Baldwin Hardware Design Council, I can say I have seen the details and quality from design to the finished product. If you're looking for a new style and old-world craftsmanship, I can tell you there is only one Baldwin Hardware. Check out what would look great in your home at baldwinhardware.com.
It's Around the House.
You know, if you're a household of 4 people, you're probably going through at least 2 towels per person per week. That's an entire load of towels a week that you have to wash. If you can use a single towel a whole week, you cut your laundry loads in half right off the bat. And so, an average towel warmer is like 150 watts. So it's like 2 or 3 incandescent light bulbs. Compare that to dryers are somewhere between 2,000 to 5,000 watts on average. And then you've got your washing machines. And then for me, on top of that, it's the time. You can't get time back. You can't put a dollar value on time. So not only is it the cost savings, but for me, laundry is the bane of my existence. And I will literally leave my laundry, whether it's towels or clothes, in the dryer or in the hamper until I don't have anything in my drawers to pull out again.
When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is a lot to know, but we've got you covered. This is Around the House.
Welcome to the Around the House show. This is where we help you through your home through information and education. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to heat things up a little bit today, and I can say this as I'm a firm believer because I have one in my house. We've got Peter and Harris from Amba Products. This is the most crazy heated towel racks that you can put in your home. Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Eric.
This is great. Well, let's talk about what you guys do. I know I kind of let the cat out of the bag early there, but man, I tell you what, I've stayed at people's house and I've had it, for a weekend, but until you put one in your own home, it changed how I do laundry, how I take a shower, all of those things. It's a life changer and something so simple I did not predict.
Yeah, it's quite I don't know if I'd say revolutionary product, but it's certainly something, as you kind of nailed it right on the head, that'll change your morning, your bathing routine. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say your life, but it's really something that a lot of people don't know what they're missing until they've experienced it. And then they kind of have that aha moment where they're like, holy crap, how have I lived my life this long without this product? So yeah, here at Amba Products, we are a manufacturer and distributor of towel warmers or heated towel racks, kind of a very niche market in the interior design product world. But yeah, it's a great product that we're trying to kind of spread the gospel to around the U.S. and North America.
Nice. Harris, let's talk about you for just a second. What's your role there?
So I'm the general manager here. Kind of wear one of many different hats, depending on the time of the day. So I do sales for the Midwest and West part of the U.S., and then I work with our factories on product R&D and get involved with our operations manager with purchasing and just, people managing, making sure the team is operating in full force and everybody's happy. And, we're doing the best we can to provide the greatest product and service and support to our customers and their clients.
Nice, man. Peter, let's talk about you for a second. Welcome to the show, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us. Yeah. Myself, I do basically anything from marketing to visualization. So any of the photography, the renderings, all the way to the website, to supporting the sales staff, through web scraping and for data collection, basically anything that touches graphic design, marketing, small business, fun times when, as Harris says, we wear many hats of many different sizes, colors, and shapes. So it's a fun process to really be working on different things, but also having that input between all of our coworkers. We've Harris and I we actually went to school together. I think kindergarten, in fact. So we've known each other for a long time. So
we have
it's
stories
great
then.
Oh, absolutely. Way too many. But it's great to have that, especially when something we're all sort of passionate. We all kind of experience this with our own towel rack. So, once you get used to it, we sort of say going without one is really, it's definitely a first world problem, as they say. Oh, my towel rack turned off and I forgot to turn it back on, and now I have to shower with the cold towel. Like this is
towel.
This is the worst. I mean, it's so. But it's great.
It's funny. It's like heated seats in a car. Once you've had it, you feel like you get robbed anytime you don't have it.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I kind of, correlate towel warmers to, more in the same kind of industry to the bidet toilet seats and the heated toilet seats that people are going for. And it's, people are like, oh, I don't need a bidet. I've used a regular toilet for my entire life, and Americans have used regular toilets for generations. Why would I need something that's going to do all these weird, funky, fancy things? And then, they experience one and they're like, all right, I need to put one in there in my master bathroom, in my guest bathroom, in the kid bathroom. And it's
guilty as charged, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one of those products that you're like, it's the fear of the unknown almost, if you will.
It is.
That
the Americans have a fear of the bidet toilet seat. There is a honest to God fear of there's buttons and this thing looks like it could eat me.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
you're most vulnerable.
Yeah, I definitely correlate towel warmers or heated towel racks to kind of those bidet toilets is something that most people don't think that they want until they try it and they're like, wow, this is unbelievable.
But it's also something that we interact with every day. I mean, towel racks, we've had towel bars of all sorts. So it's something that you've never really thought to be like, is there a better option? Is there something that's more modern, more, has benefits built into it and can really work for me versus, we use our towels every day. I don't think that there's a lot of, appliances and stuff that we, of that scale, I guess, that we would use on a daily basis. And I mean, for some of us who shower twice a day, that's 2 interactions and that's a pretty intimate relationship you have with your towel. And if you didn't know that you could be helping out your towel by putting it on a heated rack, that's a whole new world of possibility and benefits that you don't even know exist. So once you do, it's sort of, if you open the floodgates and you're like, wow, I've used my towel for a week and it still feels like it just came out of the dryer, sort of just washed it. And that's something that it's from a marketing perspective, it's very difficult to convey that because it is such a tactile experience, really, when you reach and you grab that towel. And it's just sort of this, I have friends, especially that shower in the mornings and the night. And, sometimes that towel is still damp in the morning, and talk about, you're starting off your day.
100%. I'm the same way. If I'm out, get up in the morning, take a shower, I go out and film DIY stuff for my TV show. I come back in, and with our weather now, it's 90 degrees. And so I get home and I'm like getting the sawdust and sweat off of me.
Yeah.
Before, that towel could be easily damp in the late afternoon from the shower in the morning. Or I'll get home and I'll want to take a steam shower, and I sit there and, oh my gosh, I just got beat today. And having a cool, damp towel is not good. And what I'm going to do, wash it every day? That doesn't make sense either. So the energy savings to me, even on the laundry side of thing, is a game changer.
Absolutely. And that's something that we try to push a lot when we're talking to customers and end users and just educate the general public about it is, it costs a lot of money. It uses a lot of electricity and water to wash and dry towels. If you're a household of 4 people, you're probably going through at least 2 towels per person per week. That's an entire load of towels a week that you have to wash. If you can use a single towel a whole week, you cut your laundry loads in half right off the bat. And so, an average towel warmer is like 150 watts. So it's like 2 or 3 incandescent light bulbs. Compare that to, dryers are somewhere between 2,000 to 5,000 watts on average. And then you've got your washing machines. And then for me, on top of that, it's the time. You can't get time back. You can't put a dollar value on time. So not only is it the cost savings, but I mean, for me, laundry is the bane of my existence, and I will literally leave my laundry, whether it's towels or clothes, in the laundry machine or in the dryer or in the hamper until I don't have anything in my drawers to pull out again. So if I can save that time and not have to do that thing that I really dislike, I will do everything that I can to avoid it. So,
Peter, you brought up a great comment as well there. Just a point that I want to make sure that we highlight because it's so important. If you're that person that takes 2 showers a day, you need to have one of these.
Absolutely.
And it's going to save you money in the long run. Just plan it into your project. It's not that hard to bring electrical over, really. An electrician can do it if you're not capable. It can be done. It's just drywall. You can get in there and do it. And it's a game changer.
Yeah. And it's regular, 110, 120 volt circuits. It doesn't need a dedicated circuit. So, like you said, it doesn't require anything fancy besides an electrical supply, which, is very easy to run.
I had run one when I designed my bathroom. I knew I was going to put one in, so I had left a circuit ready to go right there for it. So it was one of those things that I had it in the wall ready to go when it happened. But it's just like everything else. When you are planning for that bathroom remodel, there's 2 things that people forget to do. They forget to run power for the toilet.
Yeah.
They forget to run it for the towel warmer. And it's so inexpensive when you're doing it. Whether or not you're going to do it now, bring it in. Put an outlet there if you have to.
Yep.
But just, it's so simple to do it when the walls are open, and there's basically zero cost to that. I mean, you might have a little bit in wire and an outlet and some time for an electrician, but when it's open, you're not going to even notice it on the budget.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point that you made earlier, as far, showering twice a day, I mean, even showering once a day where you live and where we are in Atlanta, it is humid, pretty much 12 months out of the year.
Absolutely.
And so just your towel, even if it's just a single use a day, does not dry within that, 24-hour time period just because of the ambient humidity in the air. So having that towel on a heated towel rack dries it out. We actually found a scientific lab in Houston. I think this was last year. We'd always talked about the benefits of towel warmers from a health standpoint.
Sure.
Didn't really necessarily have hard facts to back it up. And so we found this lab in Houston. We sent them 2 of our freestanding towel warmers and a half dozen towels. They put 3 towels on each, and they'd replicate daily use, wetting the towels each day. And then they take little coupons or samples from it and measure bacteria growth on them. Mm-hmm. And what we found after 3 days of regular use, daily use, the towels that were dried on the heated towel rack had a 94% reduction in bacteria growth compared to the towels that were on the non-heated or equivalent to a towel bar. And then after 7 days, it was a 99% reduction in bacteria growth on the towels that were dried on a heated towel rack. So not only does it give you that luxury, that comfort, that pampering of a nice warm towel or bathrobe, but it's got health and wellness benefits. We're now kind of merging almost kind of, I don't know if we can quite say post-COVID era, but, people are still very, very concerned, have a much more kind of heightened awareness and sensitivity to viruses and bacteria and just their overall health and wellness. They don't necessarily think about their towels being a contributor to, potential harmful effects. Certainly if you have respiratory issues, that musty, funky smell that you smell on your towel after 2 or 3 days of use, that's bacteria growth. And that can give off, kind of spit out spores and stuff like that into the air that could potentially exacerbate respiratory issues if you have those. So having a towel warmer in your bathroom is going to improve the health and wellness of yourself and your experience, in your morning or evening or, twice a day bathing routine. So
that's huge. I mean, and the bathroom is one of the most, germiest places in the house.
Yeah.
I think it's only second to the kitchen, but why are you washing yourself up, getting all clean, and then wiping yourself down with a dirty towel? Right?
Exactly. And it's this idea that, I'm clean. I've just used shampoo and soap. I'm fine. My towel doesn't need to be washed. You still have oils, skin cells, and all that kind of stuff that makes this delicious biological cocktail that bacteria feed off of. So, I mean, you might be the cleanest person in the world, but that towel, if it's sitting there, it is a perfect petri dish for bacteria. You got a damp condition. You've got a nice kind of airy material to grow through. It's sort of a perfect condition. So, I mean, obviously, if you're as clean as your towel at the end of the day, when it comes down to it. And that's something, a lot of people don't actually think about it, even is the health concerns. I would say, from a boundary standpoint where people look at this, when people do not understand that they can do all these things, they look at the price tag and they say, well, this is a couple $100, this is just a rack. And it's really, once you say, well, no, it's before you shower, it is your towel is going to get it warm. You're after the shower, it's going to be warm. It's going to be comfortable. It's going to be dry. It's going to be bacteria free. When you put it back on the rack, it's going to be dry within, half an hour, 45 minutes, and it's going to be back to normal. I mean, those are things that you have to really go through the process and understand it and experience it. And then, it's sort of like exactly like the bidet toilet. It's like, how did we live without this?
Exactly.
Pretty much.
And then, you guys, let's switch it up a little bit. You guys have made some really pretty ones too. These look great. This is not like your 1920s steam chrome thing that goes in the bathroom. This really has a beautiful decorative look, different styles for every home. And then you guys have the finishes to match.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's as the only product as a company that we sell, that we offer, bring to the market. We wanted to make sure that we have the widest variety of not only styles from contemporary modern square bars, which is what you put in your home, to transitional with round bars to more traditional that have like finial accents. So we've got quite a variety of styles. But I think right now, even more important than styles is finishes. Finishes right now is kind of the name of the game in the industry. And so we stock now 10 different finishes. We just launched our newest finish actually last week. A brushed bronze finish. And so we've got from brushed bronze to matte black, satin brass, polished gold, kind of your standard polished and brushed stainless steels. We've got polished and brushed nickel. And kind of a unique thing about us is we can also do custom finishes. So whether it's what they call in Europe RAL color codes, which is the equivalent to Pantone color codes here. So basically any color of the rainbow, but we can also color match other manufacturers' finishes. So if you're working with another manufacturer on your shower heads and faucets and whatnot, other fixtures in the bathroom, we can color match a towel warmer to match or accent the rest of those fixtures. So that way you have a cohesive, coordinated look in your bathroom and don't have, mismatching fixtures and stuff. Which I think
see, that's the problem, Harris, out there is that every company out there that's making fixtures decided to come out and go, we're going to have our own color. I'll throw Brizo out there as an example because they're one of them, and love the people at Brizo. Awesome people. But I tell you what, as a designer going, okay, how am I going to get this to match and this to match when it's a product that they don't make? It's always a challenge. And having that custom ability for a finish is massive, as you know, because nobody wants to go, I got kind of close, because kind of close looks really bad. You almost better to go to a two-tone color, which isn't optimal.
Yeah.
Right.
You thought we would have learned from, 10 or 15 years ago with the Aura bronze issue, from your very dark chocolate browns to your Tuscan bronzes and kind of everything in between that. All right, that was just a calamity of different colors and variations. Let's try to put some kind of structural organization behind these finishes. But no, every brand, has to have their own way of doing things. And
their own special cool names to go along with it that, doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the actual color. It just sort of, this reminds me of honey. So this is honey bronze now. So good luck. If you have a different kind of honey out there, tough luck. This is my interpretation and we're sticking with it. So
it's like paint colors, right? Everybody has it. It's like paint colors. If you go to a paint store, everybody's got a different name for everything. It could be the exact same colors, but it's two different names.
Yeah, but it just gives us that opportunity to slide in with these options for custom finishes. So for those situations where the customer does have that problem of trying to match fixtures and finishes, we can do that. So that's something that's unique and sets us apart from many of our competitors in the market.
So if people are wanting to look and start to design this out, where do you suggest they start? As far as, okay, I'm thinking about putting in a towel warmer because I need to have one in my place, for the master, for instance, which is probably the most common place, or even if you've got kids, that hall that hall bathroom for all the kids because you've got 3 kids running through tubs every night. You're just trying to keep everything clean. What's the best way to start with that?
So I think, in my opinion, first of all, it's coming up with an approximate size for the unit. You need to know based upon first of all, to your very original point is electricity. You got to make sure where you're going to put it, there's electricity. Because no matter how hard you try, if there's not electricity, unless you're some wizard that you haven't shared your special features with us.
Nikolai Tesla stuff.
Tesla's secret AC/DC.
Exactly. Without electricity, it's just going to be a very fancy, very expensive towel rack. So obviously picking the space where you have electricity, figuring out what those approximate dimensions or space that you have to work within. Once you've got those kind of set, then it's trying to figure out, what kind of style. Are you very modern and contemporary? You're going to want some kind of clean, straight lines and sharp edges, or are you a bit more transitional or traditional, and then finish. So those are kind of the 3 initial points that I would start with is the size, the style, and the finish. On our website, we've got 9 different collections. There's kind of a way that you can see each of the different collections. I call it like the forest from the trees as far as the different styles. And then once, you can kind of see the style that you're gravitating towards based upon the aesthetic that you're going within that bathroom, then you can kind of drill down into that specific collection. And we'll show you all of the different sizes that we offer. And then you can kind of start going through the sizes, seeing, okay, what's going to fit best for not only the space that you're looking or that you have to work with, but also how many towels or how many people are going to use this towel warmer. So if it's a primary bathroom, maybe it's 2 towels, or maybe you have kids as well and they always shower in your bathroom instead of their own. So it's actually going to hold 4 towels or something like that. So you'll want to pick a unit that's going to hold the number of towels easily that you're planning to use in that specific bathroom. So that's typically where I would suggest people start is the size, the style, and then the finish. And maybe you've got to pick 2 out of those 3 to really, maybe there's not something that we have as a stocked item that's going to nail all 3 of those on the head. We do have, as I said, those special order options where you can do both custom sizes and custom finishes. But at least if you're looking for something that's readily available, maybe a week to 2 week lead time, maybe you have to sacrifice one of those. Ideally, I think you probably would be able to find something that nails all 3 on the head, but otherwise size and either style or finish, and start in there.
Yeah, and I think one other component though is it kind of falls under the size is like the sort of the output of the unit. We do, since we are, I think we are the only specialty supplier that we only do towel racks. So obviously we have a range, price range, heat range, output, all of that. And in fact, we've actually made an effort to really stick to heated towel racks as the nomenclature, because it's very specific to what we do. A lot of people say towel warmer, which is technically it's true, but there is existing towel warmers which are sort of those little microwave boxes, that are or trays that you kind of pull out. But those are warming trays. Those are if you put a wet use towel in there, you're probably going to make a excellent sort of a nice little bread box oven for your bacteria instead of clearing it in that case. So, that is one thing that I would say, to be candid, it is actually an issue is people buy one of these racks and they'll buy a lower end model thinking, I just want to spend a couple $100, not looking at the specs and realizing, hey, this is a 75 watt unit. It is going to dry my towels, but it's not going to be, the expectation of this. I pull my towel out of the tumble dryer and it's like this, like almost all encompassing warmth. That's like and of course you're kind of ignorant of the fact that you just spent, 1200 watts to 2000 watts for 45 minutes to get that towel that way. So, it's so sort of that expectation. It's like, I put this thing on a rack for 15 minutes. Why is this not a 100-degree towel ready to go for, I'm trying to steam my face and open my pores. How come that's not the case? So, it is a little bit of expectation. With any, when you're buying cars, there's a range of cars of different speeds and gas consumption. So it's exactly the same. So, that is one thing to also keep in mind is to pay attention to those specs. And,
absolutely.
Don't expect to heat a room with a 75 watt towel rack, for example.
Yeah, you're going to have a lukewarm towel at best, because no matter what, you've got to have the energy to go into that towel.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
a towel is already insulated enough. And so you've got to be able to push through that to be able to do that and dry it. Otherwise, you've got one side of the towel that might be warm, but the other side that's on the room side, for instance, if it's folded over in half, for instance, you're not getting the outside of the towel warm at all with that.
Yeah. Yep. And
exactly. And that brings up timers and other connections that accessories that you can sort of pair with our racks.
You guys have a whole wide range of those, from smart ones to countdowns. And let's talk about that, because those are important accessories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Peter, you want to take that?
Yeah. So, we supply some Leviton products that pair really well. And really it comes down to what is your usage case. So for someone, I like to use the use case of military style. I'm up at 6:30, I shower at 7 o'clock every day. That is my regiment. I know exactly what my plan is. Then a programmable timer makes perfect sense, because, I'm going to have my towel pop on an hour and a half before I shower. I'm going to leave it on for 3 hours after. I know my towel is going to be good to go, and then that rack's going to turn off and it's not going to be consuming any electricity. So that's sort of the mindset. We also have countdown timers that we offer, which is, similar, but that's more of a, I just got home. I'm going to hit this button to have my towel rack be on for the next 6 hours. And, I will return and have my shower in an hour or so. But I know that towel rack is going to be off. And by the time it's off, my towel will be nice and dry and ready to go for the next time. So, then we have the smart functionality, which, just like any smart functionality, it uses an app to schedule. You can use stuff like geolocating. So, if you are leaving from work, for example, and you've had that location sort of set in your phone, you can have this app direct your towel rack to turn on the second you leave your office, and you don't even have to worry about it. So it's just really about really operating your towel rack around when you use it and your use case. All of them are designed to be operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, I personally leave mine on. I don't think, besides going on vacation, ours have been on for years. And I don't have a problem with that. But that's also, I working from home, I maybe go and run in the morning or run in the evening. I want that towel to be ready whenever I want to shower. I don't want to ever have a situation where I say, I want to take a shower, but now I have to wait an hour and a half because I refuse to take a shower with a cold towel. So those are just some ways of getting around that to sort of make them work a little bit better for you. But it's not required. And what's great about our stuff, they're simple hardwired and plug-in appliances. If you don't like ours, you have a specific home automation system that you use, that you have a preferred brand. If they have a hardwired controller, odds are it will work with our rack. So you're not really beholden to our system or using Leviton's ecosystem necessarily.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is that's tried and true. So
absolutely, yeah. Leviton is a great brand. That they make some great products, which is why we've been selling their products with our towel warmers for a number of years there. I wanted to expand real quickly on two of the timers. So the countdown timer, another situation or application where I found the countdown timers are very beneficial is maybe this is a vacation home or second home, or somebody who has an Airbnb and they don't want to forget to have turned that towel warmer off, or have a guest who have forgotten to turn that towel warmer off, and have it just running without being necessary and consuming electricity when it's not needed. So that's where those countdown timers can also come into play, being a very ideal option for the bathroom. And with the programmable timers, maybe you do have a very irregular schedule, as Peter was saying, working from home. He has a lot more flexibility than, say, people who have to be in the office every day or stuff like that. You can also have it turn on at 6 o'clock in the morning and shut off at 9 o'clock at night. And that way it runs throughout the entire part of the day when you would most likely shower, but then it's shut off at night when, you're not going to need it. So there's a bunch of different use cases and scenarios and variations within each of these different timers that you can use to really get the most out of the product for your lifestyle.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me, I'm the same way. Mine just runs 24/7. I am not, although I get up about the same time in the morning, the afternoon or evening or whenever is the part that I just don't want to go in there and have to worry about not having that towel. So it's all right. It's just going to run. And doesn't use that much energy anyway.
Correct. Absolutely.
Exactly.
But, it's different if I was living in Southern California where afternoon energy rates were going to nail me. I would probably look at something different and put in a timer, probably put the smart timer on so I could really control it and be able to go, hey, I know I'm going to work out this afternoon, so I'm going to fix this real quick and plan for it versus that. But if I'm that organized.
Yeah.
So what do you see for, this is something that I think people should be really looking at out there. What do you see in the future for where is this headed? I mean, this was big, in the steam days that you would see back in when people had steam, heating their home. And then for some reason it went away for a while. And now there's this big resurgence on it again. And maybe it's because of COVID and people were home and said, hey, I'm going to make myself as comfortable as possible since I can't do anything else. But it seems like this is just a growing segment and more people are finding out, how one, healthy it is and two, how comfortable it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think, for us, a big thing, obviously right now the bathroom is the main location where towel warmers are being placed. And that's still where I would say 95 to 99% of our sales are. But one thing that we're really trying to push more is the versatility of the product outside of the bathroom. There's a lot of places that people don't necessarily think about where they can provide a lot of functionality. So laundry rooms is the second most popular location. There's a lot of things, particularly with ladies' clothing, but even myself, any jerseys, T-shirts with printed logos, denim jeans, I don't put those in tumble dryer because the jeans shrink and then I can't put them on. T-shirts with printed logos, the intensity from that tumble dryer will cause them to peel or crack or fade over time. And so having a towel warmer in a laundry room, it's a heated drying rack. If you have a walk-in dedicated laundry room, most likely if space allows, you're going to have some sort of drying rack feature in there to hang anything that cannot be put in the tumble dryer. And so if it's a heated drying rack, not only will it help you get through that wash, dry, fold cycle much quicker because it's going to dry those articles of clothing out quicker, it can provide de-wrinkling effects. So, jeans don't get all wrinkled, T-shirts don't get all wrinkled and stuff like that. And they don't get hot enough to harm or damage, the more delicate fabric. So silks and stuff like that, cashmere sweaters and whatnot. And it doesn't shrink it like a tumble dryer would. So, it's as far as where towel warmers are going within the home, they're going outside of the bathroom. So they're expanding into laundry rooms. In addition to that, whether you call it a mud room, a wet room, or a utility room, that's the other big location where they provide a lot of functionality. Whether it's the wintertime, maybe it's just snowed outside, kids have been throwing snowballs, or you've been shoveling the driveway, you've got wet jackets, gloves, scarves. You come back inside, you need somewhere to hang that stuff up to dry. Having a towel rack in one of these, mud rooms, wet rooms, utility rooms, when you walk back into the home to hang up to dry, it gives you that nice comfort and convenience of not only hanging it up somewhere rather than throwing it on the floor, but it dries it out for the next time you go to put it on, maybe in a couple hours or the next morning or something like that. Same thing within the summer, maybe it's bathing suits and pool towels, wetsuits, life jackets, stuff like that. If you live near a body of water, something like that, you do some sort of outdoor activities, you come back and you got to hang this stuff up to dry somewhere. Again, rather than putting it directly in a tumble dryer, which consumes a lot more electricity than a towel warmer, and may not be readily available, having a towel warmer when you walk back into the house gives you a place to hang all that stuff up. And, there's a lot of trends with these, entryways that are being built to be much more functional. You almost have like very nice, fancy cubbies and locker room type feels and looks to them. That's certainly an aesthetic option to put a towel warmer in there that can give you a place to hang 4, 5, 6 jackets and towels and bathing suits and whatever it is that you have.
Especially like if you had that pool room or something out there, the little house for your swimming pool out there, you can put it where all the kids come in and towels go hang up over there. And so those are always fresh and clean. So you're not just doing that hot tub as well, right?
Oh,
if you've got that doorway that's going out to the hot tub, probably should put one of those on the inside. So that way you've always got a fresh ready to go towel coming out of the hot tub.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, you have the the entryway kind of laundry room. If you're in a colder climate, you've got snow boots, you've got jackets that will get snow and moisture on them. But then conversely, I mean, a lot of people, when I speak to them, in Florida or whatever, they'll say, oh, well, why would we want to use it down here? People don't think about humidity and how hard it is if you are in an interior space without ventilation. That's not going to dry. You have dead air. There's nothing moving that towel and moving that air. And I mean, if you have that, that towel rack there, you don't even have to worry about that. You don't have to have ventilation necessarily. And I mean, I talk from my personal experience. I had one of our plug-in freestanding models, which is a very popular kind of entryway because it doesn't require any installation, and it just basically sits on the floor and you plug it in. But I mean, I went to school here in Atlanta at SCAD, and our dorms were a converted motel that had a internal linked air conditioning circulating system. So not only were you struggling with your own tiny little motel bathroom with no ventilation, you had everyone else's bathroom sort of linked. So that was fun. But my bathroom was pristine. I mean, I'm pretty sure I plugged up my vents and I just said, towel rack, I'm going to rely on you. Please don't let me down. And so, it makes a huge difference. I mean, especially in that case for dorms, they're not. I'm sure everyone's experienced a bunch of guys living in a small cramped area with no ventilation. You want to give your towels every chance to survive in that situation. Like that's ground zero for probably every bacteria in the world. So just having something to fight that, and again, it's passive. You don't for kids, for people who are lazy, who end up throwing their towel on the bed in the morning and then coming back and finding a nice moist mattress. It's something that it is one tiny thing that you do anyway, just hanging it up. And there's actually an intrinsic benefit from doing that. So, having that reward from hanging up your towel, maybe, I'm not saying it's going to change anyone's habits anytime soon, but, it may inspire you to, do something for yourself, do something for your towel. Poor towels get a bad rap. And I mean, we can do a little bit to take care of them. We should definitely do that. They take care of us. And they deal with a lot of our stuff.
And I will say it will change that habit because naturally, you go and throw that on the bed, even if you're a 12-year-old boy that I was at the day that did that sometimes, and throw it on the bed. The next day, when I have a cold towel that's damp, in my head, I go, shouldn't have done that. Should have hung it back up.
Yep.
You're penalizing yourself by not doing it. So I think even a kid that has no care in the world, whether that's sitting on the bed and there's a wet spot on the bed of the bed because of a wet towel, I think naturally you're going to train with that just because you go, oh man, I got this cold damn towel.
Yeah, I did this to myself, basically.
Yeah, the personal benefits. And then also, you're going to hopefully stop having mom or dad yell on you for not putting the towel back on the towel bar. You put it on your bed or you left it on the ground or blah, blah, blah. Eventually nobody likes to have their mom or dad yell at them over and over again.
No, not at all.
Well, I mean, I remember growing up. I mean, I was born in South Africa. In fact, that's where our first product line was sourced from. And back there, we essentially have hot water circulating systems for heating, which is then usually connected to radiators in the bathroom. So you'd have these giant, iron finned radiators that sit in the bathroom. And it was sort of this thing, I remember specifically my grandma, she would make sure before we get in the bath, you got to take your towel off the rack, off the single bar, and you got to throw it over that radiator. And that's really where it came from. And I mean, that built a habit for me very early on doing that, because it was sort of I can do this one thing, which is moving this piece of fabric from there to there, and I get a warm towel afterwards. Like that's so little work for such a great payoff. It's something that you don't forget, and then you need it.
No question. So where do people find these? So if you're out there and you're going, okay, guys, you've talked me into it. How do people track these things down?
So there's one of two ways. So if you're working with an interior designer, architect, something like that, and you've been doing product selections in a showroom, we sell through kitchen bath showrooms nationwide. On our website, we have a showroom locator function or where to buy. I think it's called where to buy. It'll take you to a map of North America, and you will see all sorts of pins or dots all over the place showing retailers, kitchen bath showrooms that we work with across the country that are authorized distributors or sellers of our products. If you are more e-commerce inclined, then we also sell online through a whole variety of different e-commerce channels. And you can just Google, Amba towel warmer. If you know what model, after you've kind of done some searching and research on our website, you can just Google that product into Google, and it'll return a whole host of websites from your big box stores to independent, more industry kitchen bath focused e-commerce websites.
That is great because, that's a game changer. And then how long, if somebody's going to do a custom one, obviously that takes more time because you've got to have a finished custom done, and then you've got to produce the whole towel warmer. Is that something that takes, months and months, or how quickly does that go?
Yeah, so custom finishes generally about a 3-month lead time, roughly, from the time you put the order until you get the finished product. Yeah.
All right. So, and then that's pretty good. Heck, last year people were waiting 18 months for a dishwasher.
I know.
3 months is really quick.
Yeah. Regular off the shelf stocked items. You're probably looking at about a week, maybe a week and a half to 2 week lead time. We stock everything here in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're, where you are, Eric, across the country for us, maybe it's on the upper end of that week and a half lead time. If you're in the Southeast or something like that, it may be just a couple of days. So anything that's stocked is going to be a quick turnaround time. Special orders will be about a 3-month lead time, roughly.
Cool. And website, what's the best way to find you there?
Website is www.ambaproducts.com. And Amba is spelled Alpha Mary Bravo Alpha. Amba.
There we go. Yep. There we go. Is there anything we didn't touch on today, guys?
Yeah, I guess our goal really is to, very similar to those radiators in the houses in Europe and stuff like that, is to make it sort of not a additional add-on to the bathroom, but sort of one of the core appliances that you put in your bathroom. Because as you said, the Japanese and higher end toilets, with all the functionality, are sort of coming up now, and people are seeing that there's a lot of room for improvement in some of the stuff that they probably hadn't thought about. So, if if someone walks by one of our products in the showroom and gets to touch it and say, "Wow, this makes sense now." That's what we hope. We hope people can see the value in it and see that such a simple appliance can really make a big difference in your daily routines.
Yeah, and to that point, the tactile, the interaction on our where to buy showroom locator on our website, you can filter by retailers that actually have our product on display. So if you're kind of one of those people that really likes to interact with products before you feel confident enough to make that purchasing decision, you can filter by displaying retailers. It will tell you which collections they have on display in that showroom as well. Right. So if you're not, or if you're kind of leaning towards, say our Quadro collection or our Jeeves collection, you can see which retailers nearby you may have that product on display, so you can see exactly what you're looking to purchase.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Peter Harris, thanks for coming on today, guys. This is great. And make sure, guys, you head over to the website and take a look at this stuff, because I'm a believer now that it's in my house. It's one of those things that is a complete game changer in the bathroom. And now I'm thinking about other places in the home, too. So thanks, guys, for bringing that up.
Absolutely. Thanks, Eric.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having us,
Eric.
All
right. I'm Eric G., and you've been listening to Around the House.
Somewhere unseen and undiscovered, anywhere beyond the mean. Life is a love song, let's be lovers. We're all over the radio. Take my hand, I know where to go. All over the radio with you.
Hey, it's Eric G. from Around the House. Are you planning a decking or siding project this year? If you are, you've got to check out my friends at Millboard. Millboard is a completely different kind of composite decking and cladding that enhances outdoor spaces with enduring distinction. Hand-molded from the finest oak, It realistically mimics the natural grain and color of premium hardwood. If you're looking for something that doesn't look like plastic and instead real wood, check out Millboard.com. Make sure and check out that interview we did just a few weeks back. That's Millboard.com.